So good morning everyone, Lee and I are all ready to go to Swalcliffe. It's going to take us about an hour and a half, I think, to drive hour 45 probably with the trailer. It's about 6 in the morning right now. So yeah, hoping today goes well. So obviously our badminton qualifier again, we're going to try again after Osby, but just aiming really for a nice, soft, more relaxed dressage and then nice double clear, hopefully. So I'll see you all when we get there. Alright, so it's voiceover Caitlin back again with another voiceover, of course. This is from Swalcliffe, obviously. This is the dressage. You can tell from the camera how much it was raining. Pretty horrific. And it just made the ground so grim, because it's like, when it's slick on the top, that's slick mud on the top. Even though it doesn't look too bad here, it was pretty churned up. The warm-up was even worse. But yeah, we're just getting ready to go in. Again, don't have my dressage score sheet because they didn't have them out in the secretary's tent when I was there to pick it up at the end, so don't have it. But I got a 33, which is all right. Centre line's quite good, nice and straight, just a little bit of head bobbing, but that's fine. To be honest, this test I'm just happy to have made it round with the ground being as it was, so, and with the weather conditions. Could have ridden a square return there. And then there lost her through the shoulder, but across the centre line was okay. Then coming into my 3-loop serpentine, I've definitely ridden my first loop was too small. I kind of panic and I'm like, oh, I need to turn. So that first loop's too small, but the frame is quite nice and soft. I tried in this test a different way, slightly longer rein and just allowing the frame to stay a little bit softer so I don't get so much of that sticking her head in the air and the tension. You can see she's just struggling a bit on this deeper ground. Definitely could have ridden into my corner better, and then I could have held on to those quarters, and then definitely ridden that straighter. So you want to ride turn to X more like there's a post in the ground, and then you can ride the circle and you want to show the difference. That's kind of the main thing of this move, showing the difference in the bend, whereas I just had inside bend the whole way around, which was a bit silly. But there I could have ridden straighter and then allowed her to come more around the corner, but again really tough on the ground, and then slightly fell through both those transitions. The second one was alright into the walk, but I could have ridden it a tiny bit later just to show the difference that I want it between C and M, whereas I looked a little bit like I was late at C instead, and that would have made my corner easier. This is okay, just probably could have taken the rein down and forward a bit more rather than just out and slightly up. But it was alright, and then lose the quarters there, which is annoying. You want to keep that a bit straighter. But the transition was nice and on the marker. And then I stayed sitting to try and prepare this transition, but I still got a little bit of a head throw. Just frustrating. I could have just allowed the softness just in the hand. And then again, could have ridden that much squarer turn towards X. But the circle's alright, it's quite a good size. The canter's quite nice, the frame's good and consistent, but it's just all a bit tense because she's just trying to stay together and then cut that corner way sharp. It's quite good. I managed to re-ride this test at West Wilts combined training this week, and I rode it so much better. So even though this is a bit frustrating, I have managed to go back and redo it, and it's much better. I'll probably post a video of that either on my Instagram and Facebook or maybe on YouTube, we'll see. Then we're into obviously another serpentine. Again, my first loop's too small. That's fine. She stayed quite soft across the centre line, which is good through the changes of rein. And then this half 10 metre circle was just a bit. I sort of didn't prepare as well as I could have done for it, and it was a bit of a straight line. And then, oh my god, I need to go back to the track. But it was okay. And then down the centre line is alright, a little bit wobbly. And then the halt's alright, but she stood back to square up for it, which is great. But considering the ground, I'm quite impressed with it. So overall, I was happy with that. And then the show jumping here, which had a nice spook at some flowers there, so that was ideal. But I'm really happy with the show jumping round. Just constantly thinking about pumping the hocks and keeping the canter coming, especially with this deeper ground. It doesn't look too bad, but it was quite obviously deep and sludgy. stood off that a bit. I could have gone with her a little bit better, but we went, so that's fine. And then kept her coming around this corner really well, so we found a nice shot to that. And then kept her coming here, saw a bit of a deep shot, but rode forward into it, which I was happy with. So popped that nicely. And then came around here, kept pumping the hocks, come down into this 2-stride. She rode nice and forward. Could have had her a little bit softer coming in, just so she could have that slightly smoother jump. And then here, this was my fault completely, should have sorted these legs out. But I was just thinking about trying to keep the canter coming, but I could definitely have taken a pause for that. And then she had a spook at those flowers on the way, so we added a stride, but she popped well over it. And then found a nice shot to that on the dog leg, and then came maybe a little bit tight around this turn, so we had a bit of a long one, but again I could have had a rounder on the way in and that would have been a lot easier over that first part of the double. But clear's clear. And then it was country time. I had my helmet cam on, had a press record, went to open it, and I just recorded me in the start box and then recorded me on the way back to the lorry. So apologies, I don't have that, still getting to grips with that, but I did try. So first 2 fences nice, just running fences, galloped down quite well. I wasn't pushing her really with the ground. We did unfortunately have a frustrating run out, which I don't have on video. I would have had it on my helmet cam. Here's the 3rd fence just coming up somewhere there. But it was a big table and then to a skinny on an angle, more of like an angled brush type thing. And just had a glance off at it. So it's like 7V, I think it was. Super frustrating, but we'll just go back to the drawing board a bit with it. And frustrating. I should have just had shut down the canter a bit more, just to allow her to come back to me a bit better. I sort of probably let her come in a bit too forward and flat, and then she just had an easy option out. Popped this table nice, and then we galloped up the hill. I don't think you'll be able to see much from the top of the hill other than me just popping over the first part of before the fence I had a run out at. You can just see me about to pop it somewhere just there and then disappear, just as Dad readjusts himself. And then I sort of disappeared off and did a rail step down, 1-stride step up, and then out over a skinny, which she did really well. And then I swung down and around to the water fences, and I had a couple of tables sort of in between that. But she rode down, that's number 7 or number 8, I think, and they're just a nice table, and then came down the hill to the rail step down, step up, which obviously I don't have on video because it's at the bottom of the hill. Poor Dad would have been running around like a maniac trying to find me. And then this is coming back up out the hill just after the water, which rode really nicely. And then this, pop this log, and then 4 strides to this log, which she jumped really nicely. But obviously I've already had the run out at this point, so I'm not, and obviously the ground is horrifically wet, so I'm not really pushing her too much for the time, but keeping it forward and still focused, which is important, and it's a good fitness run with this finish up the hill now. So I've just done the rail ditch rail, which she jumped nicely, just gave the rein to let her look in the ditch and kept the leg there, and then just galloping up the hill. Just got a nice table here, popped that well, and then she actually finished feeling really full of running up this hill, which I was very happy with, especially on this trying ground. But I have kept her really fit to be able to cope with this. So overall, frustrating, especially since it will be the last event for a while. So that is the Swalcliffe vlog, guys. Bedroom Captain is here now to sign us off. So yeah, frustrating performance, but another learning curve, and we will just move from it and take what we need and go back to the drawing board. Relatively luckily, thanks to coronavirus, we will not be out competing for quite some time. And badminton has now been cancelled, including the Science Supplements Cup. So, despite my best efforts and my lack of qualification, doesn't matter now anyway, which is frustrating and a bit sad, but it's the way it goes. It just means that we've got time now to really get some training in and really bash it out and do our best to learn from the two events that we've done. I'm really lucky to have even got to run, which I know is more than some people, and to have got to run twice is even better. So we will use it and really get cracking. Went combined training at West Wilts the other day, and I got to do that dressage test again, and I rode it so much better. And watching it back, I was really, really happy with myself. I will post it either on YouTube or socials or both at some point over the next couple of days, so keep an eye out for that because it's exciting and it's good. Let me know if you would like a voiceover over that as well. I do have a score sheet, so I can talk about that. Sorry about that again, and sorry about the helmet cam. I had it on, pressed the on button, and I don't know what happened because I didn't touch it again, so I don't quite know why it cut out. It literally cut out and I was like 10 seconds. So super annoying because I was really looking forward to watching it as well as sharing it with you guys. But I'll try again. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in for the Swalcliffe vlog. It's going to be the second, but the last for a while, of event vlogs. But I will keep pumping out the content. I've got a couple of product reviews and things like that coming up. I'm going to start that top 5 series that I've been speaking about for a little while. And anything else you guys would like to see. Obviously now we've got quite a lot of free time. I don't, because I'm still working. The yard is still in full swing. We're just in isolation at work. So I will still be here working, but if there's anything you would like to see, please comment it or hit me up on my socials, or I usually do lots of polls on my Instagram stories, so hit those up and give me your opinions. You've got lots of time on your hands, so I would love to provide things to keep you guys busy and feeling horsey, even if maybe a bit more inside than usual. So thank you all for tuning into the vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I know there's not many kind of fun time lapses and things like that in it. Just wasn't that kind of day, and I was there with my dad, and I was actually just trying to enjoy my time with my dad and trying to cope with the weather. I was just soaked the whole time. I was just concentrating on trying to be dry and keep going. I'm looking forward to the weather being a bit more like this. That'd be wonderful. Until then, we move. So best of luck to you all. I know you've probably all heard it a million times, but stay safe, follow all the guidelines, and let's try and get rid of this virus as soon as possible so that we can all get back out competing, doing what we really want to do. I will see you guys next week in the next vlog. Please let me know if you would have anything in particular you'd like to see. If not, I've got a couple of ideas. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you guys keep enjoying the content. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video if you guys enjoy it. And thank you very much. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.